We now call the Wheeling City Council meeting of March 20, 2025 to order, and we would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Mr. Asara? Here. Ms. Kane? Here. Mayor Magruder?
Here.
Mr. Palmer?
Here.
Mr. Seidler?
Here.
Mr. Sklavonakis?
Present.
Mr. Thorngate?
Here.
Quorum is present.
All right, thank you. We have before us the minutes of the meeting of March 4, 2025. Do I have a motion?
I move we approve the meeting minutes of March 24, 2025. Second.
Is there any discussion, changes, additions? Hearing none, I'd ask all those in favor to signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? And those minutes are approved. That brings us down to the mayor's report. It's fairly brief today. Number one, just want to make sure that we offer again our congratulations to the Wheeling Park High School debate and speech team. It seems like they are undefeated for life, and it's so great. You know, we honor our athletic teams, but we're strong both athletically and academically in this city, and we're really happy about that. And perhaps at the right time, we'll talk to them and see if we can get them in for a proclamation. All right. The second thing on my report today is that I want to recommend a young man by the name of Nathan Green as our next city finance director here in the city of Wheeling. And I would ask council for a confirmation of that nomination, please.
I will move to nominate Nathan Green as the finance director.
Second.
Is there any discussion, comments on that? If not, I'd ask all those in favor to signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are those opposed? Nathan, welcome aboard. He's with us today. Please stand up and be recognized. Thank you. And now we have the clerk's report.
There is no clerk's report today. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $39,200 with the Cincinnati Insurance Companies of Cincinnati, Ohio for renewal insurance for the intermodal parking garage to be charged to Overta parking garage budget.
I would move to adopt the ordinance.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I'm going to ask you to please record your vote. That motion is approved.
An ordinance of the Council of the City of Wheeling, West Virginia, authorizing the city manager to allocate a portion of the West Virginia opioid settlement funds to assist Northwood Health Systems in providing opioid-related abatement.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
I'll second.
Do we have any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I just want to talk about this a little bit. So this is obviously with our opioid settlement funds, we're funding a position on the Northwood Health Systems ACT team. What the ACT team does is assists individuals within our community who are at risk of being homeless or largely potentially have been homeless recently housed, among some other things, including individuals that have been affected by the opioid crisis, and they help them, avoid becoming homeless again. They make contact with these individuals multiple times a week to make sure that they've got their medication and the resources they need to stay successful and independent. It's a great program. It's a great use of our opioid funds, and I really appreciate council's support in this effort. It'll go to a great use with Northwood.
Thank you. Any further comments or discussion?
Yes. So we're funding a position for Northwood. It's not a City of Wheeling position, correct?
It's under Northwood Health Systems. It's a 1 year.
It's 1 year, and we're not committed after year one.
Nope.
Or
Once they stand us
future
up,
funding.
they fully believe they'll be able to get the grants and funding to keep that moving forward. This is for the stand-up initial costs of that. And they are required by, law, medical license, whatever it is. They have a requirement that they're only allowed to help X number of individuals per full-time count on their employment. So this will allow us full-time count on their staff, I should say. So this will allow them to take on a whole extra set of individuals within the city. So they're kind of maxed out right now.
Thank you. Thank you for your work on that.
Yeah, thanks for the clarification as well.
Thank you. Any further comments, discussion? If not, I'd ask all those in favor to please record their vote. That motion is approved.
That concludes unfinished business.
Thank you. We do have some minutes that have been held over. The GWSCA minutes from January 29, 2025. The Recreation Commission meeting minutes from January 30, 2025. And the Tree Board minutes from January 8, 2025. Is there a motion to accept those?
I will make that motion.
Second.
Any comments or discussion? If not, please, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And those opposed? And that motion's approved. Next, we have remarks from members of City Council, and today we're going to start to my far right with Councilman Acero.
The Ohio County Spring Cleanup will be taking place at Garden Park in Warwood tomorrow, beginning at 8 a.m.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple things today. One, you may have read the editorial about our budget over the weekend. I just want to clarify a couple of things on there. I had made some recommendations to our budget based on the health department allocation and the position of the center market manager. And while I believe both of these things are incredibly important, I want to clarify that my remarks there are about looking at how we can optimize our spending. There's no doubt that our health department does an incredible service for our community. But as we talk about every single year with the CDBG funds, and this is obviously separate from that, we talked about taking a closer look at each one of those things and making sure that it's based on need as opposed to just rubber stamping a line item that's been on our budget for years. And I think that in terms of that center market manager position, it's not that we don't need that position. It's that I feel like we need to continue to look at the rest of the areas within the city of Wheeling that need that same level of dedicated community development. So, I just want to clarify that I don't think that that's not a valuable position. I would just like to see us have a little bit more focus as well on the rest of some other areas in the city. And my intent was to say if we could combine that position with something else. And whether we do that or not doesn't matter, but I just wanted to clarify that. Moving on to the other thing, I want to give a shout out to Street Moms and some other volunteers who really did step up and do some hard work at that homeless camp to help get it under control there. As I've said continuously, the folks down there deserve more, and that camp has not been necessarily a safe and clean place. And I know we're sick of talking about this, but it's not something I'm gonna let go of. It's important to me. It's important to our community, and we want to continue to put resources out there that are productive and worthwhile to help those folks that are in need get the resources they need. We spend a lot of time and energy in the city working directly with Northwood Health Systems to make sure that we get guaranteed admission there. And again, it comes down to an acceptance issue, right? At this point, we have tons of resources here in the city for this, and the majority of those folks that are looking or capable of or looking for assistance can find that assistance here. A lot of what's left down there comes down to either substance abuse or mental health issues, right? And I'm not grouping everybody. I'm saying that's the reality of it. And what we continue to do is put those processes in place. We've created that crisis response team, which is a dedicated group of social workers and specially trained law enforcement officers to help assist there and respond to those and help those folks navigate the resources they need. And we all certainly understand that it's not a simple matter of getting somebody into rehab and out. 28 days later doesn't change your life, but the wraparound services after that, the assisted living, the sober living facilities, the life skills, the job services, those types of things are what, at least within the capability we have today, help make the difference there. Does that mean everybody's going to be successful in that? No, we want that, but I'm not going to give up on pushing forward through that. So I don't mind being the villain in the news once in a while because it sounds, polarizing, but at the end of the day, we have to continue to do what we can do to help these individuals get off the streets and get back to a normal, productive life where they can restore their relationships with their families, their children, and the people they care about, and get them out of this cycle of addiction and drugs. Last thing is neighborhood cleanups. I've been promising those for the last couple meetings. We've got some dates on the calendar, so we're going to target May 3rd for the Fulton neighborhood cleanup. We'll have dumpsters as always down there. We want to make that a big community cleanup event for the folks in Fulton on May 3rd. May 10th, we're going to focus on North Wheeling. We'll have dumpsters there. And May 17th, we'll be on Wheeling Island. So stay tuned for the rest of the details. Those will be pretty major neighborhood events like we usually do. But stay tuned for that. Thanks.
Hello today. East Wheeling's cleanup will be April 11th. I'm asking that as many volunteers as we can get to come out and do some cleanup and keep our neighborhoods looking great. Also, to go along with Ben, we've taken a lot of slack for the homeless camp, and our intentions is to see that they get help, not to enable, but to get them back on their feet and move them forward Um, that is no way to live for anyone. Um, and they should, we're not out here to um, be mean, when we speak out against something that we see that is not working. We wish that all organizations will work together for the betterment of the homeless. Um, they have a statewide ban that's at the Senate. Uh, and even though we do have a band here, what we don't want is for them to give them bus tickets to other big cities. So then they start busing here. Then we have a major problem. And with them being centrally located to where all the services can come about, um, that's why, we want to see it done. Not just let them go, let them do whatever, but let's go ahead and get the treatment for them. There's really no big mental health facilities in the state of West Virginia. We have one. A lot of them are going to jail, sitting in jail, just to get an evaluation. We have to do better. And the city is about helping. And anybody out here that wants to help with any project that's going to be coming up in the near future, that's what we want, involvement from the residents. So with that being said, I'm done, and have a blessed day.
Vice Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. The reason why we're having city council today at noon as opposed to our normal time at 5 is because we were all in what's called the Municipal League. And the Municipal League is an organization of other mayors and city council members throughout the state. And we get together twice a year, once in Charleston when the legislature's in session, so we could go down and talk to our state representatives, and another time in the summer so that we could get together. And what we do is we speak to other mayors and city council members and try to figure out what issues they're facing. We let them know what issues we're facing, and we also try to talk about some of the positive and good things that are happening throughout this state. Again, I think I can say this, and it's not really going to be earth-shattering, but I think it's pretty clear that one of the biggest issues that Wheeling faces is an issue that every other municipality in our state, except for a very few, is facing, and that's population loss, population retention. And that's what I think that we here in City Council are really trying to focus on. Unfortunately, there's not one thing that we can do to stop that, but one thing that we can focus on is quality of life issues. And I think that ever since I've been elected to Wheeling City Council, my issue has always been trying to deal with quality of life issues. Because when you look at our city, we really do have a wonderful quality of life. And I think that everything that we do is to enhance that. I mean, crime statistics are down. We live in a relatively safe community, regardless of what the naysayers say. We have amenities in this community that other cities and towns our size in this state and throughout the country just don't have. The Wheeling Civic Center we just hosted the Mountain East Conference. They've, I think, re-upped for until 2028. That's a wonderful sign of the quality of life we have here. We have a college basketball tournament. Not too many cities get to say that. We have a wonderful civic center. And listen, that civic center and the Capitol Music Hall was led by our mayor for decades. And the new lady who took over had some big shoes to fill. And I think Kelly Tucker's done a great job. I mean, the Capitol Music Hall is bumping. I mean, every weekend we got one or two things going on. Just the other weekend, we had a country music singer and Vicki Lawrence on the same weekend. Another factor that shows the quality of life here in Wheeling is excellent. And we, as City Council, are going to continue to support the Symphony. You understand it's 95 years old? I mean, cities our size don't get to say that. So I know that myself and I believe the rest of the members of City Council are going to continue to support our Symphony. We have a city park system that's run by the Wheeling Park Commission that's really unrivaled. I mean, I think Manhattan and New York has a park system that's bigger than us, and that's it. That's another quality of life that we have that other communities do not have. And the reason why I bring this up is because I think that Wheeling is a wonderful place to live, raise a family, work, and visit. And I know that we on City Council are going to do everything we can to continue to have a wonderful quality of life. And I want to thank everyone in this room and listening and other members of our community, because it really does take a village to ensure that our quality of life continues the way it is, and anything we can do to help with that, I know that we will do. Thank you for everything that you all do, and I appreciate it. And that's all I have for today, Mayor.
I had, I had planned on talking about municipal league, but just like you did all weekend, Councilman stole my thunder there. So nothing for me today, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. First, a reminder that on March 29th, there will Volunteer Wheeling will host a cleanup of Middle Acres Drive or Crick Road. That'll start at 10 a.m. We'll meet at the Elm Terrace Shopping Plaza, and we appreciate Volunteer Wheeling for doing this. And again, it's no cost to us and just some time for the volunteers, so it's much appreciated. Easy for me to say. Next up, the Schilling Bridge in Elm Grove will be replaced. The plan now from the West Virginia Department of Highways is for the spring of 2026. However, now they are asking for comments prior to going out to construction phase. So if you go on the West Virginia Department of Highways website and Google Schilling Bridge, you'll be able to put in comments. So if you have something you'd like to see in that area, please comment on this. Do it now. It's good till April 25th, I believe, or April 18th, 2025 to comment on this. So let's comment on it now as opposed to on social media 6 months down the road. Unfortunately, this is probably going to be about an 18-month closure. And hopefully, things will go well and it will be done sooner. But we're looking forward to the new bridge out there and being safer. The last thing I have is, it's been said numerous times, and I just want to reiterate something Councilman Seidler said that kind of bothers me, is the CDBG rubber stamp. That started back with Mayor Elliott, I believe. And I think we agreed to relook at things, and I think we did relook at things on CDGB. And I think it's unfair to call it a rubber stamp because there's a lot of work and a lot of paperwork that is involved with our departments to acquire the CDGB funding and to allocate it. And, I know we can look at, and we have looked at different allocations, but, things have to qualify. So just in the future, if we could quit use that terminology, rubber stamp, because I don't think that's what we do. I think at the end of the process, we vote on it. And, I know that whenever we receive those, I go through them and look at all the applications and trust what our staff puts forth to us. So just a comment that bothers me. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Just a quick wrap up to some of the council remarks. For me, it was my first opportunity to go to a municipal league meeting, and it was very beneficial, and I learned quite a bit. But one of the things that I really learned made me feel really good about Wheeling, because as I talked to mayors, legislators from all the counties around West Virginia, I found out that many of them, most in fact, consider Wheeling to be the leader. When they had questions about legal matters, Rose Humway's name came up often. When they're drafting their litigation, they call Rose. Bob Herron's been a leading city manager. I heard different projects talked about, and they said, well, Wheeling did it first. Police and fire pension resolutions, building skate parks with design builds. I just want to let you know that our folks are recognized as leaders in this state. And to me, that was really important, and that's something I need to bring back and let you all know. So I just wanted to make that comment. Next, we have Thank you. Thank you. We go down to report of committees.
There are none.
Report of the city manager, and I turn it over to City Manager Herron.
Thank you, Mayor. I appreciate those kind comments. The paving contract for 2025 is currently out to bid. I appreciate all the city council members' work on the various streets within the wards. It was very productive. The bid opening is scheduled for April 9th. We hope to have a recommendation to City Council for the April 15th meeting with the second reading in May, and hopefully paving beginning sometime in June. So that's the goal. The Gatewood Avenue Storm Sewer Project will begin on April 31st. You recall that I made a comment that we were waiting for all the material to arrive before we started that project because of the nature of it. It's a very tight, it's going to be a tight storm sewer project in a residential neighborhood, which includes Gatewood Avenue, a portion of East Cove Avenue, and a portion of Fernwood Avenue. It is a storm sewer project, so we will be taking stormwater out of the combined sewer line that's there now and discharging or collecting that as stormwater for our stormwater system.
And then I want to congratulate Nathan Green for his appointment as finance director. Look forward to working with Nathan. It's an excellent choice. I do want to thank John Collier for his efforts over the past couple of years as the interim finance director. He's kept the department running, has provided information, has dealt with the various issues that have come up over the past couple of years from the ARPA funding to opioid funding to the general fund challenges, et cetera, and has really done a very nice job of continuing the finance department tradition. And I know that when Nathan takes over, John is anxious to work with him and help him as he becomes our finance director. So again, I want to congratulate and thank John Collier for his efforts as our interim finance director over the past couple of years. That's my report.
Thank you, Mr. Herron. That takes us down to report of other officers, and we do have some minutes that have been submitted. We're going to ask they be held over, and they are the Hall of Fame board minutes from February 11, 2025, Arts and Cultural Commission minutes from February 11, 2025, and the Traffic Commission minutes from January 16, 2025. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to hold over.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? And that motion's approved. Petitions of redress or grievance.
There are none.
Petitions of all other kinds.
There are none.
Original propositions.
An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $78,000 with May Engineering Company, LLC of St. Clairsville, Ohio for Grandview Street Slip Repair Engineering Services to be charged to CDBG. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $24,500 with Ferguson Waterworks of Fairmont, West Virginia for purchase of a correlator for water distribution to be charged to water. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $27,000 with Centrus of Kenosha, Wisconsin for purchase of rental services for centrifuge to be charged to water pollution control. An ordinance of the Council of the City of Wheeling amending and reenacting Article 507 of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Wheeling entitled Dogs and Cats to add 507.14 entitled Feeding of Feral, Stray, and or Undomesticated Cats and Felines. An ordinance of the Council of the City of Wheeling amending and reenacting Article 363 of the Traffic Code of the City of Wheeling entitled Parking Meters to amend 363.09 entitled Overtime Parking to further clarify parking limits and overtime parking violations. An ordinance of the Council of the City of Wheeling fixing the assessment for the fines and costs for failure to take specific actions as required by the Ohio County Circuit Court to remove any and all debris, vehicles, etc. on real property in the city owned by Mark Downey, and further permitting the city to remove health hazards, abate the nuisance at the property, and dispose of such vehicles, metal debris, etc., remaining on the property, and thereafter place a lien for such related removal costs in accordance with the court order. An ordinance authorizing the city manager to expend funds in the amount of $106,225 to Stone Mile Group, LLC of Cannonsburg, Pennsylvania for Lower Market House restroom renovations to be charged to ARPA. A resolution of the Council of the City of Wheeling approving the fiscal year 2025-2026 coal severance budget.
I would move to adopt the resolution.
Is there any discussion on that? Mr. Herron.
Yeah, the ordinance or the agenda that was published indicates there's a general fund budget, and then the coal severance budget would be.
Apologies. Looks like a typo. So it would be for the fiscal year 2025-2026 general fund budget.
Is number 8. Yeah. I would move to adopt that resolution, passing the general budget fund.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? If not, I'm going to please ask you to record your vote.
My thing is a little bit, there we go.
Motion adopted.
A resolution of the Council of the City of Wheeling approving the fiscal year 2025-2026 coal severance budget.
Move for adoption of the resolution.
Second.
Is there any discussion? If not, please record your vote. Thank you very much. Motion approved.
And that concludes original propositions.
Thank you. That moves us down to wishing to be heard. We do have 5 people that have signed up to speak.